Hi everyone, I've got my A2 mixed media paper, and this is a little turquoise watercolour marker. This one's by Winsor & Newton. They actually are dual tipped, so you've got a brush tip and a fine liner tip. I often use the brush tip, but today I'm actually going to be using the fine liner just to change things up a bit, and also because I plan to do a drawing in preparation for a painting of a multitude of sheep. So rather a large flock of sheep, and let's get going with that. So I plan on putting the main character about 2/3 of the way in from the left of the paper, and the head of that character above halfway up. So we'll begin to pop that one in around about here. So I'll start off pretty loose with my drawing and not be overly cautious in terms of getting proportions right. But then what I'll do in a bit, it might not be in this clip, but what I'll do at some point is come back in and tidy things up in terms of getting heads and limbs in the right places if necessary. Sometimes by taking this loose approach, things work out wonderfully the first time, but unfortunately that doesn't always happen. So nothing against correcting mistakes. In fact, it's the essence of my work, I would go as far as to say. So we've got the body of the sheep here, head's looking over, twisting round to our left, and then directly below the eye we've got a leg peeking out there, fairly slender legs. And then we've got 4 legs in place there. Now, part of the reason that this particular sheep caught my eye was because amongst the flock of several, let me just, now this is a key before I go into why I chose this one as the main character. Let's just make sure I've got things reasonably right here, because this is an occasion where it's going to make my life a bit more difficult to correct things if I don't get this bit right. I don't think I'm too bad on that line. So as I was saying, the reason it appealed to me was there's a little lamb here, almost completely in shadow of the adult, and just sheltering against the flank of the animal. So I was quite drawn to that artistically, because this little lamb is going to be almost completely in silhouette when the painting's complete. And then there's a cast shadow here, which I will just indicate very loosely. Okay, so they're the main spotlight characters, as it were. So the question now is which other animals from the reference to include. And I've got a sheep back here with a rather quizzical look on its face. So we'll put that one in up here. Top of the head is it's off in the distance, but the top of the head of that one's a bit higher up as we're looking at it than the one I just drew. And again, this animal has a lamb standing right next to it, but in this case we get a different view of the situation because the lamb is kind of side on, and no, I don't think I'm quite happy with the adult sheep there, but I don't think I've got the proportions of the lamb set up too well. Oops. Oh, yeah, I don't need to get it exactly right, but I think that's a little better. And then we've actually got another animal in front, so that actually gives me a little opportunity here, because I quite like composing my paintings of animals in a non too what's the word, manufactured way, I guess. So when you're looking at flocks of sheep or herds of cattle and so on, they're not typically all in the same orientation, and they're certainly not arranged as one might choose to fit a particular composition. So they're I like to include some animals which are wandering off of the edge of frame, because I think it has a slightly more natural representation of what happens in the real world. Okay, so something's still not quite right with this guy. I can't quite see I can see what it is, but I'm not quite sure how to fix it. Oh, I see what I've done. So the butt, yeah, okay. Well, I see part of what I've done. So the back should be coming along here, and the rear end actually comes all the way out to there, and then it's got its fluffy tail there. Comes down there. And the legs of the adult are showing through there. So it still isn't quite right, but I'll be able to fix that when I add paint. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 animals. Let's see if we can select another couple of cast members. So here's another one. We'll put in around about here. And this one's got another cast shadow. I need to go back and check the cast shadows on the others, although there's no particular reason to put that in now, but I may as well. Helps to anchor them to the ground. Okay. So if the back edge of the field is round about here, perhaps, then we'll put a couple of animals off in the distance. Now, normally, I remember being taught years ago that you typically include odd numbers of things in your paintings: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've obviously got an even number, but I actually don't mind it like that. It's a little bit of an unusual arrangement I've got there, but I've got sort of a triangle there, which sort of brings the eye into the focus there, and then these two help create a sense of depth. And obviously, I'll add some background and stuff, but at the moment, I think I'm going to stick with that composition